Hello everyone, this is my 1986 Chevrolet S-10. I will do a brief walk around and then I will do some in-depth description. The truck is bagged. It has a small block Chevy 350 under the hood, turbo 350 transmission, numerous body modifications, full-blown custom. It's been a show vehicle for many years now. It's always been garage kept. Alright, up front it has the newer one-piece grille, the 91 through 93 S-15 grille. It still has the 82 through 90 core support, so if you wanted to go back and put a three-piece grille in it, it would not be a problem. I Frenched the license plate into the bumper here in Virginia. We have to have a front plate. Let me pop the hood here and we'll start under the hood. As I said before, it's small block Chevy 350. It's the old style 350, carbureted, simple mechanical fuel pump. Custom inner fenders for the bags. Front suspension is Thorbeck Brothers suicide doors, upper control arms. The stock lower control arms are modified. It's Slam Specialties. It's either 6s or 7s up front, and then there's shocks in the back. Yes, you lose turning radius. It's not terrible. If you've ever ridden in a bag truck with no shocks in the front, you know how terrible that is too. Everything, when we put the motor in the truck, everything was new. The water pump, the alternator, power steering pump, the intake, everything was new when this engine was installed. So it was a GM crate motor. I think it was supposed to make 290 horse out of the crate. It's all in the world I ever needed. I did not do any stupid speed tests with the truck. It was more of a show cruiser than anything else. While I'm up here at the front, I'll point out a few imperfections. It's been a few years ago. It's one of the damnedest things I've ever seen in my life. My wife and I were coming back from a show in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Drop 'Em Ware, and the pulley was still bolted to the alternator, but the fan, the original fan on the alternator, came off going down the road at about 65 miles per hour. So that is what scratched this. It played a little ping pong. I'll have to show you on top of the hood, but then it came over here and knocked that dent in the inner fender. And it made, I don't know if you can see this, I'm battling the sun's reflection. That little pucker sticking up from underneath on top of the hood. I don't know how in the world it did it, but it did it, and the pulley was still bolted down. It was just something stupid. But so while we're talking imperfections, this hood is not the flattest thing in the world. it's not bad, but I guess I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I notice that it's a little wavy. The windshield, is scratched over here on the passenger side. It's pretty bad. It never really bothered me, but in the future, if something happens and I don't sell the truck, the windshield will definitely be replaced, along with the rubber around the windshield. I drove this truck everywhere. I've had it as many as 6 hours away from where I live, and it's got its rock chips. The bumper. And there's a pretty good one here on top of the cab, next to the driver's door. But that's a trophy to me. If it's on a trailer, it's been stolen. I build things to drive them and enjoy them. So let's look inside. Fiberglass the stock dash. Full set of odometer, white face gauges. One-off steering wheel from Billet Accessories Direct or Bad when they were still in business. They're long gone. Alpine head unit, and there's a DVD player with a small, I think it's a 5 or 6 inch LCD screen. That all works. Down there is the amplifier. It's an old school Alpine V12. Nothing huge, but enough sound system for this little truck for me. Behind the seat, fiberglass subwoofer box. There's 2 Alpine 10s, one on each side. And then I think there's a 6.5, might be a 5.25 Sony on each corner here. The back window is a breezer window, old school. The center section here pops out completely. I have a storage bag for it, or it will also, there's a little clip here in the roof right there. This window will tilt forward and it will stay in position tilted forward. Some imperfections in here while we're doing imperfections. There's the tweed, the seams, the glue is starting to show on some of the seams, and it's attracting dirt. There's one back here on the door panel. Now I'm trying to be upfront and honest about this truck as I can be. The speedometer. The speedometer is about 10 miles per hour fast. It depends on how fast you're going. Somewhere, 25, 30, 35 miles per hour. It's pretty close to being right. But you get on Interstate 65, 70, you're doing about 10 miles per hour slower than that. So I know at 80, I was doing 70. And plus, I usually had a GPS in here anyway. It never bothered me enough to fix it, but it's probably a simple fix with a speedometer gear in the side of the transmission. Try to show you the headliner. Hurst shifter. And the switches, I have it set up for the 2 toggle switches here in the middle. This controls the front, this controls the rear, and then there's individual adjustments on the other ones. Honestly, these are the only 2 that I really ever mess with. I moved the gas filler door inside the bed. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I shaved the wiper cowl. I had to leave the studs for the windshield wipers because at the time I was still having to get state inspection in Virginia, and I had to have the windshield wipers on it to get a state inspection. Now it's old enough that I run antique plates, and here in Virginia I don't have to worry about state inspections. Completely shaved the rear end, Frenched in some 41 through 48 Chevrolet tail lights, and Frenched in the license plate in the center. Got an ARE fiberglass bed cover. It is carpeted on the underside. And again, there's the gas filler in the front. Got two Viair 460C compressors in the back, and a Yalatop Optima up here in the front corner. As you can see, I did oak bed floor with stainless strips, trailer fenders, and a notch cover for the air ride. This notch cover is removable if you ever need to get to that. There is a panel here in the tailgate right here. This can come out if you need to access the back side of the tail lights. Never had a problem with it. The rear setup is Thorbeck Brothers suicide doors, whatever you want to call them. 3-link. It's got behind and under the axle airbag setup with Firestone sleeve bags. There's a 5-gallon air tank back here between the frame rails with 8 GC valves. I think they're 3/8. They might be 1/2 inch. Honestly, I do not remember. Never had a problem out of the valves. There's a water trap right here under the truck between the compressor and the air tank. My only regret with the air setup is I did not put check valves in. Again, that's one on the checklist. If I keep the truck and redo it, check valves will be definitely going in. I kind of learned a lesson on this truck, and the next truck that I bagged after this one had check valves. Nothing that keeps it from being drivable. There is a slow leak in this driver's side front bag, and I believe that it's coming from the air gauge in the center console. I cannot find a leak back on the tank, and I have redone the fitting in top of the bag. So I really think it's in that air gauge in the center console, but it's very slow. I just had it on a 4.5 hour drive, and honestly, by the time I stopped for breakfast and stopped for gas and the bathroom break, laying it out every time, I don't think I had to hit the switch but one time to add a little air in the bag. So, but it's just something I want you to know. And when I redid the fitting in the bag here, I replaced the outer tie rod end. But that's another thing the truck needs. That's really the only thing the truck needs to be drivable. Is it needs a front end alignment, and it needs 2 front tires. Like that is a must do. It needs to be done right away before I would take it anywhere, and it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and do the whole steering linkage. And I will tell you, you need to get the AC Delco Pro outer tie rod ends to clear the wheels and tires. The other outer tie rod ends that I have used are too fat, and they will hit the wheel when the truck lays out. Bad news. That has not happened, but it's just something that I had to experiment when I first bagged the truck. But if you put the wrong tie rod end on it, it will hit the wheel when you lay it out. Speaking of the wheels, they're 16s, but I keep them clean. They're Weld Racing 16x8s. I realize they're probably small in comparison to what most guys like, but I absolutely love them. If I had another S-10, I would put a set of rollers on this truck before listing it for sale, but I don't. Everything else I have is non-compatible with these wheels. One of the wheels, the passenger rear, has the very smallest bend in the lip, and I don't even know that it will show up on camera. Like, it's very, I can't even get it to show up on camera. It's just very small. Again, it's one of those things that I know is there. 99% of the people that walk by it would probably not even pay any attention to it. Motorcycle mirrors, they're pretty much worthless for vision. I drive it out of the rearview mirror more often than not. And again, you know, there's some imperfections in the paint. There is a crack here in the bedside. Somewhere there. You'll have to bear with me, I'm battling the sun and the reflection off of the camera. So, the moral of that story is don't drive with the driver's side bags all the way up and the passenger side bags all the way down. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll do my very best to get back with you as quick as I can. I would drive this truck anywhere after the front end alignment's done and 2 new tires on the front. I would not hesitate to jump in and drive it anywhere. So, let me close this hood for you. So there is the pucker from underneath from the crazy alternator incident. And I didn't even think to check the mileage while I was in here a while ago. 10,042 miles. But like I said, the speedometer is about 10 miles per hour fast at highway speed. So it's less than that. Again, thank you for bearing with me. I'm sure I'm a poor cameraman. My first time doing something like this. But I'm going to close the video now. Like I said before, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you'd like to come look at the truck in person, that would be great too.